Hello everyone, it's your boy Rasta Money Bully. It's your number one sex therapist and your sex educator. We are back again, and I want to use this opportunity to say Happy New Year to all my fans out there. And I know this year is a great year for us. I know it's going to be wonderful, abundant blessing. We are still on masturbation, and today we'll be talking on spiritual effects of masturbation. In our last video, we talked about what is masturbation, benefit of masturbation, health benefit of masturbation. So if you have not watched my last video, please go to my YouTube page at Rasta Money. Click the link in my bio on my TikTok page. You will see my link there directly. It will direct you to my YouTube, because I can't post all the videos on TikTok. So just go direct to my YouTube, watch and enjoy. So what is spiritual effect of masturbation? This is going to be a very long topic. Like I said before, masturbation Satan. Today we'll be talking about spiritual effect of masturbation, the soul-wrapping effect of masturbation, and how to live without it. Note, into continue. This is written by a man's perspective. So if you are a woman and you masturbate, please just listen and watch this from a man's perspective. So before I go further, I want to use one movie as our case study so that we will understand what I am trying to say in this video. I know a lot of us have watched Lord of the Rings, and if you don't, I will recommend this movie for us. So it's a familiar story, and I want to pick one character in that movie for our case study. So let's go on. A familiar story about obsession. One of the most fascinating characters in the Lord of the Rings movie is Gollum. I will post the picture on Gollum. Like Frodo, Gollum is a hobbit whose original name was Smeagol. Hobbits are stout people with elf-like faces who stand half the height of men. They enjoy good company with hearty beer in the local pubs as this Smeagol, until he saw the One Ring to rule them all. I know if you have watched the Lord of the Rings, all of us we know Smeagol. Ìwọ tó bá ti wò wá mọ tí mo sọ Gollum ìwà tẹ̀ tí mo pé character yìí boy, but there is something I want to pick. In his book, The Two Towers, J.R.R. Tolkien described the origin of the Lord of the Ring, and much of strength and will of Sauron passed into that one ring. If you have watched this movie, you will know that Sauron only boasts to one movie, and he wants to control all the Middle Earth. And by doing that, he has accumulated a lot of power. One ring can. So I will continue. For the power of the elfin rings was very great, and that which should govern them must be a thing of surpassing potency. And Sauron forged it in the mountain of fire in the land of shadow. And while he wore the one ring, he could perceive all the things that were done by the means of the lesser rings. In that movie, ring kankan ló ṣe. So, but if Sauron tó bá ti wọ ríngì ẹyọkan tó wà ní ọwọ́ yẹn, ó máa wà able àti control àwọn lesser rings tó kù. And while he wore the one ring, he could perceive all the things that were done by means of the lesser rings, and he could see and govern the very thoughts of those that wore them. Sauron was the evil dark lord who sought to rule all of the Middle Earth. Mo try láti summarize movie fún wa so that we will have better understanding of where I am going. This is not where I am going at all. I'm not here to narrate this movie for us, but for us to know better things, better understanding, sorry, about this thing. Sauron was the evil dark lord who sought to rule all of the Middle Earth, and it was the One Ring that changed Smeagol's life. When the Return of the King opens, we see Smeagol as a young adult River fishing in a boat with his cousin Diggle. A big fish eats Diggle's line and pulls him into the river. He spots the shimmering gold ring at the bottom of the river bed, grabs it and quickly surfaces. Smeagol sees the ring in Diggle's hand. He was immediately entranced by it and asks his cousin to give him the ring for his birthday present, but Diggle refuses, and two friends fight over it, and Smeagol strangles his cousin to death. This is where I am going. Ibi tí Smeagol tí character ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ nìyẹn. Òun àti ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀, òun àti cousin ẹ̀ wọ́n wà ní odò, wọ́n ń pẹja. Ẹja Diggle sorry, Diggle ikọ̀ ẹ̀ ó gbé ẹja ńlá, ẹja yẹn fà wọnú odò. Ibi tí yẹn ti wọnú odò lórí ríǹgì yìí, ríǹgì Sauron tó fi ń control all the Middle Earth. If you watch this movie you will understand. But nígbà tó gbé ríǹgì jáde, Smeagol like ẹ̀, ó bẹ̀ pé kó fóun ní ríǹgì yẹn fún birthday present, but ìyẹn ò gbà, so àwọn méjì jà sí. Smeagol pa ìkejì ẹ̀. This is where we are going. But when Diggle refused, the two friends fight over it and Smeagol strangles his cousin to death. Obsessed with the ring, Smeagol leaves everything he knows and retreats alone to a misty mountains. After tó ti pa ìkejì ẹ̀, ó mú ríǹgì yẹn, ó fall in love pẹ̀lú ẹ̀, ó lọ sí orí òkè kan, orí òkè burúkú tó yẹ pé inú àwọn àpáta òkùnkùn. His new home is now a dark, cold, damp cave. Quite a departure from the warmth cottage normal hobbits live in. But none of this matters now. Gbogbo ohun tó yin gbogbo yẹn ò kàn mọ́. Ríǹgì yẹn, ìfẹ́ yẹn ti wà lọ́kàn. The ring is Smeagol's comfort and friend, his most precious possession. Ó fi lé ọ̀nà gbogbo ohun tó ń ṣe tó dálẹ̀. Ó wọnú àpáta lọ níbi tó yẹ pé òkùnkùn wà ńbẹ̀. Everything is so dark and it is full of mist. Yet the only friends you have is the ring and your comfort. Blinded by obsession, Smeagol couldn't see how the ring was changing him. He was so obsessed that he couldn't see how the ring tó fi ń bayé òun jẹ́ kó rí. In his isolation, he turns outside in and his personality split in half. Everything he becomes, ó bàjẹ́. Èèyàn gidi tẹ́lẹ̀ ó di rádaràda. In the movie, we see Smeagol talking and fighting with himself as often as he does with Frodo and Sam. He gives up beer, a thing unheard of for a hobbit. Ìwọ tó yẹ pé o máa ń gbádùn beer tó yẹ pé all the time àwọn hobbit wọ́n like beer bí. He gave up beer because of what? The ring. And lives on a raw fish. He shrivels up physically, losing most of its teeth and all but a few strands of his hair. His voice become raspy, and he rarely smile except when cursing is precious. The warp half of his Smeagol personality overtakes him and he becomes Gollum. After tí gbogbo ẹ̀, irun ẹ̀ ó re jẹ, eyín ó ká, ó rù, ó wá ń jẹ ẹja tútù àti èkòló. Lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí ayé ẹ̀ bàjẹ́ tán, ló wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní pè ní Gollum. Kò kí ń rẹ́rìn, he doesn't smile unless tó bá ń kiss pẹ̀lú ring yẹn. A name end from the hard swallowing blah blah blah. I hope we have àti capture little story tí mo sọ fún wa yẹn. Now let's go back to where I am going. The effect of masturbation. The fact obsession and addiction to masturbation. Now you see the life of Gollum, jẹ́ pé ó wà obsessed pẹ̀lú ring yẹn. Do you see where his life ended? Ó wà stranded, everything about him changed negatively. Now what we just need from there is obsession. When you are obsessed with masturbation, I'm sorry, you are gone. Like Gollum, today there are many who obsess about a different kind of pleasures. They discover masturbation in their youth and it's something they must have, so they retreat often to isolation to be alone with the precious. I will read again. They discover masturbation in their youth and it's something they must have, so they retreat often to isolation to be alone with the precious. People can masturbate outside. People can go outside and say yes, mo ń sopi. Can't just go outside. You have to go somewhere dark, somewhere lonely, somewhere hidden, where nobody will see you. They don't see what is doing to them until later when they sense there is something wrong. They don't see what is doing to them until when they sense there is something wrong. One of the biggest effects obsession, if you are obsessed with masturbation, oh bros, you are gone. First, isolation. O máa kọ́kọ́ wà, o máa yẹra ẹ from anybody because you can't come out and masturbate. Now let me give you a story of a man. In his 1994 book The Sexual Man, Dr. Akbar Hart surveyed 600 Christian men on the subject of masturbation. Of the married men who responded, 61% said they masturbated, with 82% says they did it once a week. 96% of single men under the age of 20 admitted to a masturbation habit. 96% single men under the age of 20. You see how bad this is it. Mad o, k'Ọlọ́run ṣàánú. Youth of nowadays, please learn from this. This masturbation thing is very, very dangerous. 96%. God. The myth masturbation's law. Since so many Christians men are having sex with themselves, you think they liked doing it? No. But in Dr. Hart's survey, only 23% gave enjoyment. Now, let's go back to our survey. It says 61% of Christian men masturbate. Now 23% says nínú àwọn 61 23% inú wọn sọ pé enjoyment as a reason báwọn máa ń like ẹ̀ láti ṣe. The rest said from habit. Ó ti mọ́ wọn lára from the age of 20 downward. Ó ti ṣe kíni? Ó ti mọ́ wọn lára. See now, that is very, 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 very disgraceful. That is very, very disgraceful. Kò dẹ̀ dá. It's ó ń dùn mí lọ́kàn. I'm also a victim, but I thank God today everything has changed. That's why I can come out and talk to people about this. It is very, 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 very bad. They were addicted to it and from lack of outlets for sex as the reason they engage in masturbation. In a weird twist, only 13% said they thought masturbation was a normal act. God. So some people think it's a normal act. Yes, it is. They thought it is normal. No, it's not normal to be a masturbator addict. Yet 97% said they didn't feel guilty about it. Now, Gollum's split personality comes to mind here. How could this be? From experience, I know my conscience is seared when I do something repeatedly that I don't feel good about. Màá explain seared yẹn fún wa nsìn. What is mean by seared heart? Tó bá ń ṣe nǹkan repeatedly tó jẹ́ pé ò ń ṣe nǹkan burúkú ni o, ó ń ṣe nǹkan burúkú yẹn, okay bóyá maybe before tó bá jí owó mọ́mì ẹ̀, sometimes your conscience say o ti jí owó mọ́mì ẹ̀, and you will feel guilty of what you do, and sometimes you might return the money, and but if you keep doing it repeatedly, tó ṣe lónìí, ó ṣe lọ́la, ó ṣe lọ́túnla, then if you keep doing it, you to some point you won't feel guilt anymore. You think that it is normal. That is what happened to Gulem. What it means by seared, let me read here. Ability not to feel guilt, or a strong heart doesn't feel anything anymore. That's my own definition for when you say seared. Ability not to feel guilt. Oh, te feel it. Oh, te ní conscious. Let me read more. When you do something repeatedly, your conscience will be seared as time goes on. Either you do good or bad. That's when you start justifying your actions. You will always find right and truth in whatever you do. You will always find right in whatever you do. Even when you do bad, even tó bá pààyàn gan, o máa wá ọ̀rọ̀ kan láti fi justify ohun tó ṣe pé yes, you are right, which is very bad. It's very bad. That's the meaning of seared heart. So let's continue. Could it be there are many men who would rather do without sex but don't know how to stop? Ní bíbá mo béèrè question pé ṣáwọn kan wà tó yẹ pé wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe without sex, which is masturbation, but wọ́n mọ bó ṣe fẹ́ stop. Yes, ó wà. Yet, if so many Christian men are having sex with themselves, is it really hurting anything? Is masturbation just a harmless act or physical release? These are the questions you have to ask yourself. As we know from cigarettes, smoking, and overeating, to know whether something is harmful, we must look at how it affects the user and those around them. Okay, back to our question. Is masturbation just a harmless act of physical release? Is it yes or no? Ṣé nǹkan tí ẹ̀kọ́ lè ṣe pé okay kí ọkọ fi dà gbùdùgbùdù nìkan ni pé o bá ti sobi tó ti dà? Is it a normal thing? Is it a normal thing? Okay, fine. If you think it's a normal thing, then as we know for cigarette smoking and overeating, to know whether something is harmful, ẹ wo àwọn tó ń ṣe, báwo ni life wọn ṣe rí? Àwọn tó masturbate, báwo ni life wọn ṣe rí spiritually and psychologically, mentally and health? How are they? Ask them. Even yourself, ask yourself, how are you? Ibẹ̀ la máa fi mọ̀ pé ṣé ó wà harmful lóòótọ́ àbí kò wà harmful. Now, what are the effects of masturbation? Number 1, emotional misfire. Number 2, loneliness. You will feel lonely no matter where you are. Number 3, isolation. Number 4, shame. Shame yẹn ti bad. Shame yẹn bad. I know that shame. Oh God. 5, emptiness. You will feel empty. No matter what you do. Self-destruct. Now let's go. From my teenage years until I was 36, self-sex was a part of my life. I got married at age 20